Hello, viewers. How's your day been? It's quite a sunny day today in the city of Lagos. Welcome to today's edition of Matchcentre on BD TV. Here, my name is Anthony Lebe. Here with me is Anthony Udugba.
Nice.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Glad to be here again.
Yeah, good to have you.
Yeah.
And my regular, Ibrahim Abubakar. How are you today?
Thank you very much. I'm fine, thank you. And it's been a wonderful day. The last time we were here, we talked about Chelsea not making the top four. We're here again.
God.
So it's so good to be back.
So that's fine. So we'll just move straight to the business of the day. In the last 1 week, one story has been trending. In fact, it's been trending before now, but it became big since Monday when the report about initially it was like Man U have reached agreement with Osimhen, but it didn't end there. But we're having hearing report that 250k 5-year contract with Man U reached with Osimhen. So for you, what does that make for you?
Yeah, I feel if it's true, that's a step in the right direction for his career, because we know what happened with him at Napoli. They're now going to Galatasaray to rejuvenate himself. Over 30 goals in the Turkish league is huge for Galatasaray in all competition. So you see that the player of his caliber can do it anyway. He's playing in Germany, he's playing in France, Italy, still dominating Turkey. So coming down to England, I believe wholeheartedly that will do his career good, be it Manchester United or Chelsea or Liverpool.
Okay, fine. Anthony, I know you're a Chelsea fan, no doubt. What do you make of this report? Are you comfortable, or you would like Osimhen to come to Chelsea, or you feel that okay, fine, Man U is fine and it's good for him, it's good for his career, it will help him. At least he will be the second player to play for Manchester United. We have Igalo, that played. Igalo came from the Chinese league, but this one is coming from European league. So, what do you make of that report, if it's true?
So, if it's true, I think it's going to be a damage to his career. Man U are not a team that are expected to go for trophies, given their current predicament as where they are right now on the table, the kind of management they have at the moment, trying to sort out what is right for them. The pressure is too much on Amorim. There are so many things that needs to be taken care of, in the Man U team right now. But looking at Chelsea, looking at what they are building, yes, it might not be the perfect team, but then again, they need his talent to push forward. I believe that getting himself in a Chelsea team gives him more leverage for trophies. Chelsea are a team that loves investment, given that in recent times, they've had themselves investing in younger players, and they should try as much as possible to bring in the bigger players, just like Osimhen. We have had, we now know that Osimhen is one of the biggest strikers in the world. The top five is the top 5 striker, if you ask me. And we have a Chelsea team that is trying to fight, to get themselves in. We are fighting for the first 5 right now. Next season, we should find ourselves fighting for the top of the league and also qualifying easily for the Champions League. Who do we call? It's Osimhen. Osimhen is the best player in that team. Going to a Man U team that is still struggling, that next season we know that they might not find themselves in the top 10. Even if they do, they will not even find themselves in the top 5. Why go there and get your stocks lower when you can actually do something in Chelsea? Get your stocks higher, win trophies, do a lot of things and get yourselves goals. Just as his past mentor Didier Drogba has done. He's his mentor, and definitely he should come to Chelsea. You've seen the likes of Mikel Obi always clamoring for this. He might be tired of talking about it right now, but here we can do that. We can get him. Yeah.
So are you saying Osimhen coming to Chelsea is a guarantee that he will win trophies for Chelsea?
It's a guarantee.
And again, looking at Chelsea, fine. Have you thought about even ex-Chelsea stars, our own brother, our own friend, our Mikel Obi have done everything he needs to do. But again, it's like the Chelsea owner are not looking into that direction. I think they are based on getting players. They have a wage cap. And Osimhen coming in, it looks like distorting that wage cap. £250,000 a week and all of that. Jackson, I'm not sure Jackson ends up to 10,000. So people are saying that Chelsea, if you have to be in the era of Ibrahimovic, that would have been a done and dusted deal. But with this new owner, Ted Bolly and the rest of them, it's like they are not looking into that direction that, okay, a star like Osimhen, a top striker, like so for you, that Chelsea fans, it's like it's like wishing, you're having a wish that might not even come to reality.
Yeah, but in another sense, I would say the owners are being, I don't want to use the racial biasness in all of this, because I believe that they want the best for Chelsea. They want the best for their team. It's their team. They want to invest properly. Because I'd say that if they bring a Haaland, if Haaland was on the table, Haaland is an European, a white European who is banging goals for Man City. You have the likes of Jimenez and all of them. So we have these guys. If they were on the table and the offer of 250 million was 250,000 was on the table for them to sign this guy, they would have done it. We saw what happened on deadline day when we were bringing in when we brought in what is his name, our midfielder.
Okay, Enzo
Fernandez. They had to get down to that deal and make sure that they bring him to the table, regardless of the amount he's going to collect as salaries. If Osimhen was that important to them, and they know that they know his capabilities on the field, we've seen that in Galatasaray already. We've seen that in Napoli. We've seen that even in the national team, trying to get goals for our national team. They can always also put that on the table as well and get this deal done and bring him in, regardless of the taxes and the wage bracket and all of that stuff that's going to be involved in the transactions.
Okay, but you wish, but Ted Bolly and co, I hope they're looking into that direction. Back to you, Ibrahim. People are saying that Osimhen coming to Man U. There are a lot of bugs at Man U right now. Number one, they're not playing well. Number two, they are 14th. It's not guaranteed. They will not play in Europe next season. And people say a quality former African best, I think it was 8 the last time, Ballon d'Or or whatever, playing for a club that is not playing in Europe, not even in Conference League, not even Europa League. People say that, okay, like what Anthony mentioned, is like going to reduce his stock. And again, looking at the present Man United team, Osimhen playing is not like bringing the solution to that team. So people say, man, my guy, that's a red flag. Don't go there. There are a lot of things. And Amorim too is not certain, because the way it's going, you can't guarantee that Ruben Amorim will still be with Man U next season. So there are a lot of uncertainties around that. So people are still saying that, well, even if Chelsea is offering a lower package, why don't you join Chelsea? Or maybe look at other Premier League clubs, because it's destined that the guy wants to play in the Premier League next season. Yeah, maybe if Liverpool come, maybe Newcastle come in or showing interest, or perhaps Juventus have shown interest. Okay, maybe go back to Italy and all of that. Man U, because of where they are now, there's no future for next season. And a player like Osimhen is the national team, I think, is the second highest goal scorer for Nigeria. So not playing in Europe could be a setback.
Yeah, so first of all, I think saying or thinking that Manchester United won't be in Europe next season is not entirely correct, because as of this very moment, they are playing the Europa League semi-finals. And all it takes is just to win that trophy, and they'll be in the Champions League next season.
Are you guaranteed that they will win the Europa League?
It's not guaranteed, but it's a 50. As at this moment, it's a 50.
We are talking about, for instance, it's certain that Liverpool will play Champions League next season.
Yes.
It is, because we have few matches left. It is certain that Arsenal will play Champions. Even there's some clause, that, okay, it is certain. Or worst case scenario, they will do. But this one, you are saying, and you saw what happened to them against Lyon. It was like a miracle. So a player like Osimhen cannot just bang on speculation or hope that we'll do this and do that.
So I feel that's why he and his team are actually waiting for the end of the season to make a decision, because then who is going where. You understand what I'm saying? So then talking about trophy, in the last 2-3 years, Manchester United has really won more trophies than Chelsea. Even without even when they are not doing very well in the league, the FA Cup is there. The reason why we have Manchester United in the Europa League in the first place is because they won the FA Cup against Manchester City. So that's a trophy in its own. I just feel that he knows best for himself, and if he wants to come down to England, coming to Manchester United is actually not a bad idea. The top 9s for Manchester United are not performing. So that's a straight walking into the team. You're walking directly into the team. Then for Amorim, he joined Manchester United later this season. He didn't start with them. So you'd say, okay, they'll give him next season to bring in his own players, then get his tactics right.
After finishing the almost fourth or 15th on the table, and you think, man, you have that luxury of time. You know, the thing there is that I quite understand what you're saying, but me, I'm looking at the kind of big player Osimhen is, and not to play in the Champions League. Osimhen at Napoli was playing the Champions League.
Yeah.
At Galatasaray, he's playing the Europa League. And now you are okay because you want to play in the Premier League. You now come to Man U. You are not playing Champions League. You are not playing Europa. You are not playing Conference. And the United team you are is a distorted team. And people don't really feel that Osimhen's arrival will put,
Manchester United
to winning way. Yeah, it will help their goal scoring. But there are other departments that needs to be taken care of. And the uncertainty surrounding Amorim, because I feel that, truth be told, maybe Man U could be buying time. Because coaching Man U is not like coaching Lisbon or Porto or whatever thing. Yeah. So me, I'm looking at, will you not be okay? Won't Osimhen explore other options? Maybe like Liverpool, maybe like Newcastle or Chelsea, perhaps. So he's a big player. He needs to play in Europe next season.
I understand what your question you're asking. I'm just of the opinion that if he's coming down to England, Manchester United is not a bad idea. Then if you say, okay, let's explore that teams, probably a Liverpool or Chelsea team. Even Chelsea are not doing so well this season. It's just, I know they've gathered some good points in the start of the season. If you look at what has happened in the last 10, 20 games, Chelsea has not been themselves, especially since the first leg game
lost form
against Everton. It started from that first game, against Everton where they drew, I think 1-1 or 0-0. Since then, they've been dropping unnecessary points to the extent that games that you think Chelsea has won, they drew. Look at the game against Ipswich. First leg, they lost. Second leg, they were losing 2-0 down before coming up to get a point at least. So it's not like the Chelsea team is also wonderful, especially from at the back. So yes, Chelsea has an attacking problem, also a defensive problem. So if they are bringing in Osimhen to sort out the attacking problem, what are they doing at the back? To date, many Chelsea fans are clamoring for the head of Enzo Maresca. They want him to leave. Even Chelsea is not certain that they will be in Europe next season unless they win the Conference League and then they probably fight for top 5. Then if you look at the table in the EPL, Chelsea is playing Newcastle, playing Nottingham Forest, playing Liverpool, I think. Yeah, so you see out of your possible 5-6 games left, you're playing 3-4 teams that are also looking to be in the top 5. So automatically you are not getting let's say out of 9 games, you're not getting out of 3 games, you're not getting all 9 points. So you're probably looking for, let me get 3 points here, 1 point there, and all of that. So you're still permitting for Chelsea too. The only team, like you said, or the teams that are sure to be in Europe, especially the Champions League next season, are Liverpool and Arsenal. Nottingham Forest, Man City, Chelsea, Newcastle, I think Aston Villa too, are still fighting for the top 5. So you take out Liverpool and Arsenal, you have 3 other teams that are vying for this position. So it's open, for me, it's open. Therefore, for Newcastle or Liverpool, the option for Liverpool or Newcastle, it will be that Liverpool are buying Isak from Newcastle. Then Newcastle can now start looking for a new striker. Then if you look at what Tony said, the issue with Osimhen, or the issue with Chelsea and Osimhen, this start today. If you look at, I think in 2013, where Arsenal were looking to get Obafemi Martins, they were literally pricing him for 13 million. Guess who they got? He didn't perform very well. So eventually he had to go to Newcastle to do the job, and he got the job done. That's Obafemi Martins. So these are the things. So especially when it comes to black players, you see the pricing mechanism changing. Delap right now, Delap plays for Ipswich. The market price for Delap, someone who has not scored up to 20 goals a season, or not even played in the Premier League for more than 2 seasons, is higher than what you'd expected. So these are the issues. These are the problems. You look at these guys that left Newcastle for Andy Carroll. He didn't perform very well. But the price tag on him was, I think, somewhere around 45, 50 million pounds at the
50
time.
million.
At the time, he didn't perform very well. We have so many English players like that you can point to that they were hyped so high. Eventually, when they moved, they made that big move. They didn't really do well.
Okay. So for you, it's like going to United is a perfect right decision for Victor Osimhen.
It's one of the best. Coming to England is the best decision. So picking any team, because Manchester United has the pedigree, they could do the undo. We saw what they did, what happened between Man U and Lyon. They lost their head, but they came back. They showed the stuff of champions. Yes, we're not good, but we want to give this a run for its money.
Again, Man U has this history of, always being just like perhaps maybe Madrid struggling, but they are still big team.
Exactly.
Big. So and they have what he said, maybe not this season to turn this around for next season. Well, that's fine. But again, now we move straight to the the top 5 race. Before, like we said earlier, confirmed Liverpool. Just this weekend they could win the Premier League as long as they win, they avoid draw or whatever.
Points,
they can. Once they pick 3 points, Arsenal confirmed. Then the issue now, if you look at the 3rd and 4th, Newcastle 61, Nottingham Forest 60, Manchester City. I mean to say Man City 61, Forest 60, Newcastle 59, Chelsea, Aston Villa 57. So if you look at all this from 61, all those things to 57, so is the top 5 is like this. Maybe this one drops point, this one win, the table changes, and all of that. So who are you looking at? Which other 3 teams do you pick that will make the top 5 aside Arsenal and Liverpool?
I'd say Newcastle, Aston Villa, and Manchester City.
Well, that's strange because Villa that you picked, they are 7th. Yeah, they started well, but their form has dipped. So are you writing out for a City?
No, City. I mentioned City.
You said City, Aston Villa,
and Newcastle.
How about Forest? Forest have been doing in fact, a lot of us are even surprised that Forest are still in that race. They've win some credible matches that you don't even expect them to win. And I think one of the things that is working for Forest is compatibility, teamwork. And they have a very Nuno Espirito, a very good coach that is just quiet. He doesn't make noise. So you are saying that, okay, Chelsea hope for top 3, you can't guarantee. Forest, you can't guarantee. Well, let me ask Anthony. Maybe he shared the same views.
So basically, I usually call Chelsea in the arguments and leave out Man City. And this was the last time I was here on the show. I said the same thing. But now I don't see it. I don't see the energy in Chelsea to compete for the top 5. If you had asked me 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, yes, basically, I would have said yes. That I was even arguing for the fact that Man City are on poor form and they're not going to get the top 5. But unfortunately, look at where Chelsea are. They've literally made waste of their chances, while Newcastle have basically come up and stepped up in their game. Now we are seeing Man City on form. Now we are seeing Kevin De Bruyne trying to prove a point in Man City. We are seeing the return of Foden. And look at these guys are trying as much as possible to make sure that at least they get the Champions League spot. And this is the same energy I was expecting from Chelsea. But regardless of that, we are now seeing a depicting Chelsea team that we don't even have a striker. I can't even call Jackson a striker right now. I have not been on his case. I have not been on him throughout the season. I think he has performed poorly. And for a kind of, I don't know why, the Chelsea fan base basically is a fan base I don't understand. Some people are still backing Jackson up till today. And I'm like, what are you guys seeing in Jackson? You can't back on this guy. If we had an Osimhen in this team, someone that prides himself as one of the best strikers in Europe, you would, with or without the coach's instructions, he is going to get that goal in. We just need goals to make sure that we put ourselves in, because recently the scoreline has been very poor. You see a 1-0 scoreline, you see like it's been poor. Really, I don't really buy that. So really, I won't put if coming to Nottingham Forest, I'm going to put them in the contention as well. I would say no to Aston Villa, even knowing fully well that yes, they might. We have Rodgers in the team that is trying to give assists and all of that. We have the likes of Watkins, who's also trying to put in goals but I would not give them that. I wouldn't give it to them because I feel Nottingham Forest has a higher chance to, they've done this all season. They've been the dark horse. They've been surprising all season, and I feel like they have a chance to put, themselves in the contention. So apart from Liverpool and Arsenal, I would give it to Man City. I'll give it to Newcastle because they might be struggling sometime, but I feel like Chelsea are not stepping up their game, so they're going to miss out. So it's Man City, Newcastle, and Nottingham Forest for me.
And it's just the way it is on the Premier League table. Yes. You just mentioned Jackson, and I looked at it. Wow, first start, 9 Premier League goals in 27 appearances. In fact, he has scored so far only 9 goals this season.
Very poor.
He had no goal in Conference League, no goal. In fact, now I see reason why people are saying, man, give us Osimhen. Give us Osimhen. Well, I think people say a team is as good as the leader. The moment Maresca said Chelsea should not talk about winning the Premier League and all of that, since he made that statement, Chelsea form just dipped.
Yeah, I think that has been our undoing.
So it's like nothing affected the players' mental, their psyche that, okay, we're not playing for Champions League and all of that. So if you check, since he made that statement, Chelsea has lost form drastically.
Yeah. Yes, I want to agree with you on that. And if they were doing that as if they were doing...
Maybe he was trying to play mind games.
Exactly. If they do it as a mind game, I feel as though they would have done that outside. And when they got into the dressing room, the mindset should change. When you get into the training ground, the mindset should also change. That, look, even though we are trying to play mind games with our competitors, that we're not struggling for the Champions League, we have to keep up the energy. This was exactly what I expected from a Chelsea team. Because if you'd asked me during the beginning of the season that, are we going for the Premier League? I'll tell you, we are not going for the Premier League. We are just counting for our top 5. We've secured we got to a space where we secured the top 8. We've got the people who secured Europa. So I was saying that, but looking down the road, after saying all of that stuff, we find ourselves, deep in form. Cole Palmer is no longer doing what he's tired. He's tired of carrying the team.
And he's too young to carry that team.
Yeah, so he's tired of doing that. He's not yet a leader as he's supposed to be. We don't even have leaders in that team to even start with.
He's too young to do.
So because if you also look at the Chelsea team, the statistics are there. Chelsea has created more chances than any team in the Premier League this season. The problem is conversion. Chelsea has the best midfield duo in Caicedo and Enzo, more than any Man City, not Liverpool. So you ask yourself, what is the problem? The problem is the attacking force, conversion, like you said, and also the back lines. The back line concedes unnecessary goals.
Yeah.
You watch the game against Ipswich, 2 unnecessary goals. And again, this
Brighton.
You look at. So when you're talking about Chelsea, and then bringing Osimhen, I said that earlier that Manchester United is not a bad team for Osimhen to join, because if you look at the Chelsea team, they play like they are not serious. Because then
they are better this season in terms of stats.
Chelsea?
Yes, better than United.
So I think the EPL this season did not live up to expectations for many teams. Because Chelsea last season's point is higher than this. Even though it's higher than this, they still did not meet up with what you expected. Exactly. Chelsea should have been in the Europa League this season, but Manchester United won the FA Cup. So that's what I'm saying. Pochettino's Chelsea did wonderfully well, not so good, but Maresca has not done better than even Pochettino's performance. So then the question is, what is it doing? You want to play a mind game that you are not good at. Leave this stuff for the likes of Jose Mourinho, Pep Guardiola, and the rest. Mind games don't work for many of these players. If you watch an interview,
maybe they are too young for that kind of mind games.
They're too young. They're too young, because if you look at there's an interview of Mourinho where they asked him what he did with Eto'o at Inter Milan, and he said, "I played mind game on Samuel Eto'o. I couldn't do it with other players, but I know this guy could take it." Yeah. I told him, "You are not the best striker in the world. You are not one of the best in the world." I put him on the bench. Then the game that we needed him, I started him. And so just to prove to me that he's one of the best, he scored and we won the game. So you can't do that with the likes of Jackson. You can't do that. You kill his morale. So that's the issue. So you have to know what your players are, who they are, what they can take, their strengths and their weaknesses. You don't play. because I believe it's all mind game when Chelsea were top of the table. And saying we are not here for the league, we just one game at a time. Almost every other player who was saying it. Jackson said it, Enzo said it, and the rest of the guys said it. But then before you know, Chelsea played Everton, and they started losing points from there. The last 10 games, they've not kept up to 5 clean sheets. If you win, you're conceding. If you draw, you're conceding. If you lose, obviously you concede. So honestly, the Chelsea team, I don't know if Maresca is the right person for the Chelsea team. But then every other person in the world right now, especially in Europe, are looking for younger managers that can play from the back. So this is another problem that I think many of us are not talking about.
Okay, let's quickly run through the FA Cup semi-final. Crystal Palace, Aston Villa. So would you?
Crystal Palace they've been up and down. We have Eze, we have Mateta. These two are trying to. They've been giving us goals and assists and all of that this season. Then we have I would give it to. I'll give it to Crystal Palace. I'll give it to Crystal Palace.
Aston Villa. No. Without saying too much, because they have an Unai Emery behind the line, and this is someone that has been there, done that. Any competition.
Forest City on Sunday.
Forest City.
I name Nottingham Forest City.
Nottingham Forest versus City. City.
Nottingham Forest.
Okay. Final one, the Copa del Rey final. Well, people say it's a dead rubber final. Looking at what has happened this season, Barcelona versus Real Madrid. But again, people are still saying that perhaps it could be, a way for Madrid to salvage a poor season. So Madrid-Barcelona.
Yeah, so if you look at the last time they met in this particular competition, I think it was 2013, and Madrid won the game 2-1. But if you look at this season, Madrid has not done well. They've met 2 or 3 times, and they lost to Barcelona on those occasions. So, but I'd say that Ancelotti will be looking at least getting one over Barcelona this time. And Barcelona, if you look at it, they also have the Champions League game next week. So they have their eyes on 2 different matches at the same time. So
are you giving it to Madrid?
I'm giving it to Madrid to at least get that trophy.
So I wouldn't be on camera giving anything to Barcelona.
Okay, fine.
I can't do that.
Wow,
yeah.
Interesting. Wow, I hope you've enjoyed the conversation. That was a robust one. So for Osimhen, the ball is in your court. People are saying Manchester United. For me, I want you to come to England because you are too big to play in Turkey. You are one of our finest strikers, one of the best strikers in Europe. So playing for Manchester United, I hope maybe this season they are doing badly. A lot of us are confident that next season United will come bigger. Well, if it is Chelsea also, if they can afford your wage bill, fantastic. Play in England, a lot of Premier League fans would like to see Osimhen play in England. So that's all we can give to you fans today. Hope you enjoyed the show. Stay tuned for our next edition. Ibrahim, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And Anthony, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
See you next week. It's bye for now.